I've since admitted that my concerns for the feeling of Jewish friends were more important than my concern about the truth. No, I haven't done that. I've done exactly the opposite of that. In conversations here at the Glenn Show, what I've done is bravely and candidly expose my own discomfort with the disappointment of the expectation of friends that my statement of what I took to be true. Okay, Glenn, brace yourself. This is from Vladimir X. It came October 16. Glenn, in the days and weeks, John, I'm doing this for, a balanced discomfort factor in our response to questions.
I'm not at all uncomfortable right now. But anyway, go ahead.
Okay, well, good. I think I am. Glenn, in the days and weeks following October 7, 2023, everyone interviewed about Palestine was required to begin by explicitly condemning Hamas and publicly declaring that there was no possible excuse for what they did. You see what I mean?
Yeah, I know what's coming.
No mention of 1948, the Nakba, and myriad other things was allowed. I've even heard credible reports that unequivocal condemnation of Hamas was a prerequisite to even being allowed to be on TV, on the radio. You, Glenn, have since admitted that your concerns for the feelings of your Jewish friends were more important than any concern about truth. I have admitted no such thing, Vladimir. Yet the reaction to Coates's book is that there is no nuance, that he failed to take contrarian views into account. Vladimir, that's John's reaction. It's not mine, but we can talk. Have you sacrificed your integrity to stay in good graces of some people, in the good graces of some people? And by the way, do you have any Muslim friends or colleagues? Okay. Well, I think you mischaracterized my position on a number of fronts. I don't hold the view that Coates's book is without merit, quite the contrary. I think it was entirely appropriate that people had the expectation and indeed had the demand that one denounce the viciousness and inhumane treatment of the people who were under assault in southern Israel in the Hamas incursion of October 7th. Of course, that was a heinous set of acts. I don't have a problem saying so. No mention of the Nakba, no mention of context. Well, many people did not mention context, but in the full discussion that took place in my reading of the American press and media, there was plenty of mention of the historical context, and I could name the names of many people who went on at length in their online presentations and in their written work to that effect, to the effect that there's a historical account there and that Hamas's actions didn't come out of a vacuum. I've since admitted that my concerns for the feeling of Jewish friends were more important than my concern about the truth. No, I haven't done that. I've done exactly the opposite of that. In posts at my newsletter, glennloury.substack, and in conversations here at the Glenn Show, what I've done is bravely and candidly expose my own discomfort with the disappointment of the expectation of friends that my statement of what I took to be true occasioned. I signed an open letter calling for a ceasefire of the Israeli response to the Hamas incursion in Gaza, along, of course, with the release of the hostages. And I have disappointed many people. If you follow the comments on the various posts here at the Glenn Show and the glennloury.substack, you can see in the comments many people expressing their disappointment. And I've anguished about that, but I've nevertheless held my ground and said what it is that I had to say. Perhaps not what you would have had me say, Vladimir, about that. So, do I have any Muslim friends? What are you talking about? Or perhaps I should say, read my recently published memoir, Late Admissions, Confessions of a Black Conservative, which you can find at wherever you buy your books, in which I describe a wonderful relationship with a Muslim Cameroonian philosopher, colleague of mine, with whom I became very close friends. As a matter of fact, my lovely wife, Lawan, and I, as if I need to say this, at our wedding, it was presided over. It was a secular, non-religious ceremony, but it was presided over by Imam Alfred Muhammad, a good friend of mine. My wife has strong negative feelings about Christianity. I have warm feelings about Christianity, although I'm not a professing believer, but we agreed that in the interest of accommodating our respective feelings, we wouldn't have a Christian cleric presiding over our ceremony, but we wanted a cleric to preside, even though it was a non-religious ceremony. And Alfred Muhammad, who was an imam with a mosque congregation in New Jersey and a longstanding friend of mine, presided. So I resent the insinuations, Vladimir. I really do. But there you are.
Did Vladimir mean to address me, Glenn? If you think about it, in terms of how off that is it's like a slip of the hand or something? I'm just venturing.
I don't know. He didn't mention your name in the comment. I just read exactly what he said. And in reference to Coates's book, he said, yet the reaction to Coates's book is that there is no nuance, that he failed to take contrarian views into account. And as I said, that I think does perhaps characterize your reaction, though it didn't accurately characterize mine.
And I also am the one who's talked about Jewish people, Jewish students, Jewish friends. I don't remember you saying that.
No, although I did what I told you I did, which was self-censorship in a time of war is what I called the post. And I talked about self-censorship at a synagogue in Palm Beach where I went to speak about, during the war, about Black-Jewish American relations. And I didn't talk about the war in that context out of fear of giving offense.
Okay.
That was perhaps what he was referring to. But yeah, in your columns, if I recall correctly, you worried out loud about the sensitivities of your Jewish students as events unfolded on Columbia's campus.
Mm-hmm. Caught a lot of hell for it, too, including from Jewish people. So I was just wondering. The letter is interesting in terms of context.